With the world's population set to hit nearly 10 billion by 2050 and raw material use set to double by 2060, there is an urgent need for a more efficient approach to how we plan and operate our buildings. How can technology and digital solutions help us achieve a net zero future, ensuring long-term, sustainable growth?
There's a total of 39% of global greenhouse gas emissions that relates to the operation of the built environment. The most sustainable building is the one that has been already built.
Let's take the example of an existing infrastructure. We can engage in many ways, but usually what we do is first you need sensors and a first layer of technology to make you understand how frugal is this building and what is the potential. And then you need to automate.
In the next 30 years, we are going to be building every month the city the size of New York. And so the choice we have is to improve what we're going to be building in the years to come.
Technology do exist today to build a new electric world that's going to be carbon neutral by 2050. And I find it exciting, inspiring, and very optimistic into the future.
If left unchecked, climate change will unleash irreconcilable damage to our lives and the lives of future generations. So how might digitization, electrification, and the adoption of smart technology help prevent this global threat? Through long-term and ambitious thinking, the small city-state of Singapore offers a model for urban development. With a highly educated population and the fastest broadband speeds in the world, Singapore has increasingly pivoted towards a digitized economy. It's a country that has proved itself through the pandemic, and given its location and its limited resources, Singapore offers a solution-focused approach to efficient, proactive, and sustainable development.
Singapore is really a miracle because it is a country without resources. We build more with less. And to do this, we build up, we build out, and we build down. Between 10 meters and 30 meters, you have underground pedestrian networks. You put roads there and you put your MRT, your underground trains there. We will use technology to help us become more productive, more competitive, and more sustainable.
As Singapore prospers, huge developments like Changi Airport and Marina Bay Sands have been built on reclaimed land, with the island's landmass increasing by over 20% since 1965.
It's like a mini city. We started off with just under 9,000, but every single year we've added staff, and we're just over 10,000 right now. Over 90% of our staff get here by public transport, and that's because of our interconnectedness.
Marina Bay, as an integrated resort, presented me with an interesting challenge. What do we do for the jogging paths and the parks and the swimming pools? We had the model in front of us, and I took a big slab of wood and I plunked it over the model on top of the towers on the 59th floor, and I said, there's our park, there's our resort.
When we built the property in 2010, we had about 40,000 sensors on property. Over time, we realized how important that data is to us, and we've grown the amount of data to the point that we are at about 110,000 sensors now, and we're extracting that data every 15 minutes. We've installed over 150 panels on the top of our hotel, and this enables us to generate electricity as part of a microgrid. On so many levels, it's important to have really strong partners in this business.
Schneider Electric's PowerLogic meters, sensor technology, and EcoStruxure IoT-enabled solutions have supported the site's efforts to improve business performance and reduce energy consumption and costs.
In 2012, our first full year of opening, to 2020, we've reduced our carbon footprint by 34%. And this is at the same time while we've grown our business.
It's nice to say it is the most profitable real estate project ever built.
Where you put in place digital technology, you have this artificial intelligence and software that permanently are going to improve the way those buildings are running. We see, on average, a return on investment of 3 years and an energy reduction potential of roughly 30%.
Across the island, Joule offers another archetype for hyper-efficiency. This brand new $1.3 billion development sits at the very heart of Singapore's Changi Airport. As a major regional hub, Joule is a key part of the offering for international travelers, but Singapore's efficient use of land has led to a destination that also entices residents. On top of an abundance of sensor technology, Joule has also pushed forward with investments in front-end robotics, operating across a range of tasks, from cleaning to hospitality and even traffic enforcement.
Technology alone is not going to solve a lot of our climate problems. In fact, it can actually contribute to them. However, if we're smart about it, if we really think about how to leverage technology to change the way that we live, to optimize our processes, there's a lot of benefits.
Do we start from what has been fueling the 20th century, which was oil, or do we think of a different energy and electric world? I think digitization is an absolute must to drive and to reach sustainability goals, driving more electrical loads and driving more electrification, because electricity is a more efficient energy. Schneider Electric is clearly taking this stance.
Triodos Bank's new headquarters in Holland is the world's first multi-story wooden office block. This site is designed for the future, built in a factory, assembled on site, and powered by a microgrid. The car park's roof is covered with 3,000 square meters of solar panels, operating on an intelligent bidirectional charging system that can charge car batteries, and when needed, it allows the site to draw energy from them, whilst always ensuring there is enough power for the journey home.
A microgrid means that you are in control of your destiny. The first advantage is a cost advantage. Second one, you become independent. You don't have to rely on anyone. And the third one is sustainability, because renewable energy is green.
This is a building where even the main core is made out of wood. And it's also the first building in the world which is 100% circular potential. If we have a different mindset, if we organize a logistic process, if we have a material depot, a material bank, then you have a huge financial incentive for this kind of buildings, and that can rise up to 20%.
You have today technologies that allow to take a 3D modeling of a building and translate it into costing module, scheduling module, make platforms so that people would work together and not against each other in the phase of construction. That in itself drives a massive opportunity for efficiency.
Whilst the cities around us are in a constant state of evolutionary flux, businesses and designers are working on revolutionary plans for the cities of the future. Models that look towards a future where ownership is increasingly replaced by services, as seen with the Toyota Woven City.
That is a fully inhabited, lived-in, worked-in city, in this case with 7,000 people. Every third street you have autonomous electric vehicles and pedestrians. Every other third street becomes a promenade or a plaza where you have personal mobility and pedestrians. And then the last third becomes a linear park for pedestrians only. And you do that in both directions. You weave those three together in both directions. So that means you have the same amount of accessibility with a vehicle, but you have only a third of the amount of right-of-way reserved for vehicles. It's maybe the most holistic test bed that we are creating, where we can take all of those technologies that are bound to transform the world of the most immediate tomorrow and test it all in one go.
I think the most wonderful thing about the incredible data that we have is that we know much more. So we understand things better, but we need to make sure that we don't end up designing by algorithm and that we allow ourselves to humanize the data that we have.
And we believe the two essential drivers of that carbon neutral world is electricity and digital. To build the home of the future, the building of the future, the industry of the future, and the grid of the future, together are the two main vectors that will build this new world.
It's clear that digitization is transforming how we plan our cities and business operations. But with the path towards catastrophic climate change just decades away, the question remains, can businesses and organizations work towards net zero ambitions and adopt these new technologies in time to save our planet?